Hello and welcome to TrainingPeaks Virtual. This is stage one of the Grand Tour, and this is being organised by I think the community, a rider called Toto Koala. I think apologies if I've not pronounced that correctly. And I've been placed in Pen 1 in TP Virtual's auto pen selection. There are I think 174 riders started. I don't know how many of these are people or bots, but there was a good sign up for when we started. So I think a majority of these are people, and we've got a neutral start. And the first thing you notice here is that, well, firstly, I'm going to apologise. I don't know where the audio's gone, so it's going to be fairly silent. I don't know where the TP Virtual audio went, so apologies for that. I blame OBS, not sure where that's gone. And the other thing you'll notice is I'm not going to edit this just for prosperity. It's a TPV race rather than Zwift. I'm just going to leave the race here, especially because there was quite a few people probably in this who might like to watch it back. And you're going to notice that I ride in the first person view, and I thought about changing it to third person, but I like this view. So I like riding with momentum. And what you can see is it's really hard to see what is going on at the front. We had a neutral start, and it was very difficult to see when those pace bots left and the start began. And this feels like a in real life race. I can't, rather than the sort of Zwift where you can ride in and you can see what's going on in the pack, and you can kind of have, all those camera angles are in your favour. This now feels like I'm in the thick of it. I'm in 60th position and I really don't know what's going on. So I think throughout this race, this is a lot about position management, using the course profile, using bumps. There's 2 climbs, very small climbs in here, and there's a few bumps. What you're going to see throughout this race is my position management, so that when things are getting dicey, or when we're coming up to pinch points or sprint points, I'm going to manage my position. So I'm going to conserve as much energy as I can, where I can, and that means riding at about FTP, which for me is probably around 280 watts, and that will leave me in the draft somewhere. And like I say, we'll manage my position throughout the race. Okay, if you have a look at the map on the bottom, we're coming up to one of the first bumps. The first sort of it's not really a climb; it's just a roadblock. And my position is sort of 50th, 48th, actually 49th. I can see on the mini map it's not too stretched out, but I'm riding in this group here. So I'm going to use the hill in a minute. What you're going to see is me put some power down, and just so I can move to the front. And actually, you can see somebody is moving on the mini map now when I look back at this. But I'm going to put power down when we go through this banner, out of the saddle, and just see what's going on near the front, and spend a bit of energy to make sure I'm not dropped. And here we go on 2%. You can see I'm sustaining 400, 500 watts. And you can see I'm moving forward through that group. So this is now just about holding power and moving through the pack. So just a bit of a surge. I can see the front now easing off, back on it again. And again, one of the brilliant things about TP Velo, keep calling it TP Velo. One of the best things about TrainingPeaks Virtual is it doesn't show watts per kilo. What it shows you on this display here is it's showing you the speed of the riders around you. So it's showing you the kph, and you can see that I'm doing around 50 kilometers an hour right now, and I've moved to 30th position. I kind of had a view at the front, so I can see, not only can I see with my first person camera view what is happening in terms of momentum, I can actually see riders who are, whether they're riding faster than me or slower than me, and that's going to have a bearing on what I do in this race. And you see I'm now surging to 56, just by putting a bit of torque through the pedals there. But momentum fades, so again, all about position management. And we're a kilometre away from the first sprint segment, or the only sprint segment other than the finish. I mean, I've moved up to sort of top 20 so I can get a view of what's going on. I'm starting to put some extra power down just to manage my position. I don't want to be too close to the front. We're 600 meters away from that sprint. I feel like 400 or 500 is a reasonable place to go for this. Riders are starting to move past me. Drafts in my favour, wind's there. Put the power down and start to build power. Can't quite get four figures in this sprint today. The pace has been just peaked at 900 there. Pace is a bit hard. There's auto braking going on, which is a pain on this sprint. But I keep that power down. Currently in fifth. Oh, just pipped there. Managed to cross the line. Got 7th in that segment and picked up 244 sprint points. So happy with that, especially as I was sort of near the 60th position a bit earlier on. I was able to manage my position well. So yeah, happy with that. Now, obviously, I'm a bit, hitting a wall here. Weebles are pretty. My Wii balance or W balance is empty. When I look back at intervals, I am just in survival mode now. I need to catch some draft and be able to carry on sort of drafting in at least the top 30 or 40 here, so I don't get dropped off as riders come through the back. It's got 2 kilometers to go here, and as you can see from my watts, 400 watts there, things are getting pretty fast at the front. You can see on the mini-map there are some riders off the front. I'm currently sitting in 28th position here. I'm pushing hard, again 400 watts there, pushing hard. I know there's a corner here, so it's all about accelerating out of this corner. If you have a look at my power charts, that's a lot of purple, so that's kind of red in Zwift. I'm not sure how much I've got in me. I'm sitting in 7th on the points table. This is a points race. Picked those up on the sprint segment earlier, and looking at that mini map, it looks like the front of this peloton wants to go long. So I'm going to need to start my sprint here at 1 kilometer, just to move up position, because I can't let this get too drawn out. There's the Flamme Rouge. And just getting a bit of tension out of the legs before I put the pressure on. You see riders getting ahead of me there. And now, launching now, but I'm going to have to pace this. This is a long way, 700 meters. Try and hold 700 watts. The draft's pulling me in. I've got the wind in my favor. Starting to accelerate off the pack. Just released some pressure again there. Back on it, 600, 700 watts. 700 watts, 300 meters to go. I'm into 18th position, and then I sort of blew up. Lost all energy there. That was me done, and just tried to coast across those last 100 meters. And was I pipped on the line? I think I got 25th. Very happy with that, and I got 11th in the points table. So out of, I think, 165 riders in that race, I don't know how many were bots. Picked up 11th, but let me tell you, that was fast, and that was fun. That was very different to Zwift, with a pack size of 165. I couldn't see the front of the race at times, so I was riding by feel. I was moving position when I wanted to, moving up the pack on bumps and then backing off. That was a lot of fun. Most fun I've had on a turbo trainer for a while. And the TP virtual platform is really good for that kind of race. And thanks to Toto and the crew for organising this Grand Tour on TP Virtual. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.